Thank you for joining me on this adventure. Your presence means the world to me. Greetings, viewers. Get ready to immerse yourself in the world of Northampton Town F.C. in this video. Northampton Town Football Club is a professional association football club based in the town of Northampton, England. The team competes in League One, the third level of the English Football League system. Founded in 1897, the club competed in the Midland League for 2 seasons, before joining the Southern League in 1901. They were crowned Southern League champions allowing them to contest the 1909 FA Charity Shield. Admitted into the Football League in 1920, they spent the next 38 years in the 3rd Division South. Under Dave Bowen, the club achieved 3 promotions from the 4th Division to the 1st Division within 5 years. However, Northampton only survived for 1 season in the top tier of English football after relegation in 1966. Northampton then experienced 2 further relegations in 3 years to return to the 4th Division by 1969. This set a record in English football of moving from the 4th tier to the 1st tier and back in only 9 years. After 6 seasons of stability in the 4th tier, the club won promotion before returning to the 4th Division after another relegation in 1977. Northampton won further promotions to the 3rd tier in 1987 and 1997. Relegated in 1999, they won immediate promotion after securing an automatic promotion place the following season. However, they were once more relegated after 3 seasons of struggle in the 3rd tier, before securing promotion out of League Two after 2 unsuccessful play-off campaigns. Relegated at the end of their 3rd season in League One, they won the League Two title but only lasted 2 seasons in League One before again being relegated. In 2020, they gained promotion to League One, but were relegated to League Two once again after a single season in the 3rd tier. They won promotion back to League One in 2023. Northampton are nicknamed the Cobblers, a reference to the town's historical shoemaking industry, and the team traditionally plays in claret and white kits. The Cobblers played at the county ground from 1897 until 1994, when they moved to Sixfields Stadium, which has a capacity of 8,203. Northampton's predominant rivals have been Peterborough United in the Nene Derby. With our curiosity piqued, let's embark on a dedicated exploration of formation and early history and its fascinating intricacies. The club was founded on 6 March 1897 by a group of local school teachers who, together with a local solicitor Opat Darnell at the Princess Royal Inn, Wellingborough Road, formed the town's first professional football club. Initially, their chosen name was Northampton Football Club, but after objections from the town's rugby club, the club was called Northampton Town Football Club. They joined the Northampton League and spent 2 seasons there, winning the championship the 2nd season. They then spent 2 seasons in the Midland League before joining the Southern League Led by player-manager Herbert Chapman, the club were champions of the Southern League and played against Newcastle United in the Charity Shield match, losing at the Oval. As we enter this new phase, let's navigate the complexities of interwar period and discover its practical applications. In the first season after the war, Town conceded a club record 103 goals. Nonetheless, the club was allowed to join the Football League for the following season, in Division 3 South. Saw the club become a public company and 8,000 shares were released at £1. The season produced a record crowd of 18,123 against Plymouth on Boxing Day, and gate receipts for the first time exceeded £1,000. Started with the club raising £5,000 to build a stand with a player's tunnel underneath, and also improved terracing in the hotel end. The following season saw the formation of the Supporters Club. In 1925, the club's first foreign transfer took place as William Shaw was signed from Barcelona. A new ground record was set for the FA Cup 3rd round replay with Sunderland. 21,148 turned up to see the Cobblers lose. However, disaster occurred at the county ground during December 1929 when a fire destroyed 3 stands, with damage valued at around £5,000. Only 1 stand was saved, although this was charred. The source of the fire was thought to be in the away dressing room. The Cobblers had earlier entertained AFC Bournemouth reserves. By August 1930, the stands were rebuilt. The club created history when brothers Fred and Albert Dawes both scored in a win over Newport County. The latter finished the season scoring 32 league goals and even scored 4 in a win over the Netherlands national football team while the club was on tour. The FA Cup 5th round was reached for the first time courtesy of a 4th round win away to Huddersfield Town, who, at the time, were top of Division 1. The Cobblers lost to Preston North End at Deacle, setting a new ground record of 40,180. In the 3 seasons prior to the breakout of World War II, the Cobblers finished 7th, 9th and 17th respectively in Division 3 South. In the final match prior to the war, they travelled to Dean Court and lost, the club's record league defeat. During the war, the Cobblers had the record for the first transfer fee received during the hostilities when Bobby King was sold to Wolverhampton Wanderers for a substantial 4-figure fee. As we progress through this video, let's now turn our gaze towards rise and fall. Northampton were promoted 3 times in the 5 years 1960 to 1965. Starting the season in the 4th division, they reached the 1st division in their only season ever in the top division of English football. They were then relegated back to the 4th division over the next 5 years, playing in the bottom tier again. During their top flight season, they earned a double against Aston Villa and victories at home over clubs including Leeds, Newcastle, West Ham and Blackburn, the latter being the only team Northampton would finish above in the table. Since their relegation from the 2nd division, Northampton have played every season in either the 3rd or 4th tier of English football. Moving ahead, let's uncover the hidden gems within ours and discover their significance. In 1970, they lost to Manchester United in the FA Cup 5th round. 6 of the goals conceded were scored by George Best, who received the match ball signed by Northampton players as a reward for his performance. For the first time since becoming a league side, the club had to apply for re-election in 1971. They finished the most favoured club with 49 votes. In the season, future England international Phil Neal was sold. After 200 games in all competitions for the Cobblers, Liverpool bought Neal for then club record of £65,000, whilst playing in the same side of another future England international, John Gregory. Finally, during the season, the club finished 2nd in Division 4 and were promoted behind champions Lincoln City. They did this without losing a home game and having every regular player score during the season, including the goalkeeper, Alan Starling, who netted from a penalty in the penultimate home game against Hartlepool. The club were relegated back to Division 4. The season started with ex-Manchester United assistant manager Paddy Crerand in charge. However, he resigned in the new year. No new manager was appointed and instead a committee was formed consisting of the chairman, the coach and 3 senior players. Prior to the start of the season, George Riley was sold to Cambridge United for a then club record of £165,000. He had been the club's top scorer for the previous 2 seasons. New floodlights were installed in time for the season, but they failed during the first match against Southend United and the game had to be abandoned. The club struggled in the bottom half of the 4th division for the first half of the decade, but 16-year-old Eddie Mann became the club's youngest player in May 1984. The lowest ever league attendance was recorded at the county ground where only 942 people turned up to watch the Cobblers lose at home to Chester City. This was also Northampton's only ever league attendance below 1,000. In the same year, the club managed what seemed like a major coup when they appointed as manager Tony Barton, who had won the European Cup with Aston Villa 2 years previously. Barton's only season in charge proved severely disappointing, however, as the club were never outside the bottom 2. and health problems forced Barton's resignation near the end of that season. Success was achieved under Barton's replacement, Graham Carr, who brought in several players from the non-league in addition to a number of quality league players to finish 8th in his first season in charge. The season saw Northampton win the 4th Division Championship, gaining a club record total of 99 points and scoring 103 goals, 29 of them from Richard Hill, who was transferred in the summer to Watford for a club record fee of £265,000 sterling. The club adjusted to life in Division 3 quickly and just missed out on a play-off place despite finishing 6th. Important players such as Trevor Morley and Eddie McGoldrick were sold and the team fell back down to Division 4 in the season. Brace yourself for a captivating discussion on early years as we explore its nuances and implications. The years began badly, with the club relegated to the 4th Division at the end of the season. The following season began well as the club looked on course to return to the 3rd Division at the first attempt. They were top of the table in February, but fell away and finished mid-table. Things then got even worse and the club went into administration in April 1992, with debts of around £1 60 million. 10 players were sacked and youth players were drafted in to make up the numbers. Results did not improve. These events sparked the formation of the Northampton Town Supporters Trust, which has a shareholding in the club and a representative on the board of directors. This was the first such instance of a supporters trust taking over a football club. The club needed to win the final game of the season to avoid being relegated to the conference. Over 2,500 made the trip to Shrewsbury Town and saw the Cobblers win, despite being down at half-time. The season got worse for the Cobblers as they finished bottom of the Football League for the only time in the club's history. Relegation was only avoided due to the conference champions, Kidderminster Harriers, not meeting the necessary ground criteria. The club eventually began its move to Six Fields. Moving forward, we'll be taking a closer look at the Six Fields era. The club moved to new ground, Six Fields Stadium, in October 1994. The change of ground did not change the club's fortunes and they finished 17th, with Ian Atkins taking over as manager from John Barnwell halfway through the season. After 2 more seasons, in the club's centenary season, Atkins led the Cobblers to Wembley for the first time in 100 years, where they beat Swansea City in the 3rd Division play-off final, John Frayne scoring the winning goal from a twice-taken free kick deep into injury time. The following season Northampton made the 2nd Division play-off final, but lost to Grimsby Town in front of a then-record 62,998 crowd, with the Northampton support greater than 40,000 fans also then record for the most supporters taken to Wembley by one team. Northampton were not able to progress from the previous year's success because of long-term injuries to 16 of their players during the season. The team was relegated to Division 3, despite being unbeaten in the last 9 games of the season. However, there were some promising results such as an aggregate win over West Ham United in the League Cup. The season saw the club bounce back to Division 2, finishing in the 3rd automatic promotion spot. Ian Atkins left the club in October following a poor start to the season. His assistant, Kevin Wilson, and coach Kevin Broadhurst took joint charge for the rest of the month. Former Chelsea player Wilson was appointed manager at the start of November, going on to win 2 Manager of the Month awards. The following season started promisingly, with players such as Marco Gabbiadini and Jamie Forrester pushing the Cobblers towards play-off place before the club eventually finished in 18th place due to a large number of injuries in the second half of the season. Kevin Wilson was sacked in November 2001 to make way for his assistant Kevin Broadhurst, who steered the Cobblers from relegation to a remarkable survival with a game to spare after losing only 1 home game from mid-January. The next season was the worst since the early years, both financially and on the pitch. Early on they were forced into a Save Our Season campaign to keep afloat until the end of the year. It was required after the collapse of ITV Digital and much publicist takeover attempts by John Fashanu and Giovanni Di Stefano had failed and left the club with huge debts. They were taken over by a consortium run by Andrew Ellis, who sacked Broadhurst in January 2003, when Northampton were struggling at the foot of the division. He was briefly replaced by former England player Terry Fenwick, who was sacked after a winless spell of 7 games. This was, at the time, the 8th shortest managerial reign in English football history. Martin Wilkinson, the new manager, lasted little longer, being dismissed in October 2003 in favour of former Scotland and Tottenham Hotspur defender Colin Calderwood. Calderwood led Northampton to the play-offs in his first season, where they were knocked out in the semi-finals by Mansfield Town after a penalty shootout. In the season, Northampton finished 7th, again in the play-offs, where they were defeated by Southend United. Following this, the manager made substantial changes to the squad, bringing in experienced players such as Ian Taylor and Ewan Jess, and they enjoyed a successful league season. On 29 April, the Cobblers clinched promotion to Football League One with a win at home to Chester City. On 30 May 2006, Northampton announced that Calderwood was leaving to join Nottingham Forest as their new manager, and he was replaced by John Gorman on 5 June. On 20 December, Gorman resigned due to personal issues with the side 18th in the table, with Ian Sampson and Jim Barron briefly taking care of first-team affairs. He was replaced by former Southampton boss Stuart Gray on 2 January 2007. The Cobblers were relegated from League One on the final day of the season, after suffering a defeat away at Leeds United and other results that went against them. Northampton caused an upset in the third round of the Football League Cup, knocking out Liverpool at Anfield. The game was drawn after extra time, as the Cobblers beat the team 69 places above them on penalties, the winning penalty being scored by Abdul Osman at the cup end. Ian Sampson was sacked as manager on 2 March 2011 after a poor run of form saw the Cobblers fail to win in 8 games and sit in a disappointing 16th position in League Two. Sampson's last game in charge was a defeat against Burton Albion, the manner of this defeat ultimately costing him his job. Sampson's sacking brought to an end a 17-year association with Northampton, and his commitment to the club has guaranteed his status as a legend in fans' hearts. David Cardoza moved quickly and Gary Johnson was unveiled as the new manager on 4 March 2011. However, things didn't go well under Johnson. The club slid further down the table in League Two and only just avoided relegation at the end of the season. The beginning of the season saw no improvement for the Cobblers, and Johnson left the club on 14 November 2011 by mutual consent. In November 2011, Northampton appointed ex-Watford manager Adi Boothroyd as their new manager. After drafting in players such as Ben Harding, Luke Guttridge and Clark Carlisle, Boothroyd managed to keep Northampton in the lead and over the summer set about transforming the club into a club with promotion ambitions. On 18 May 2013, Northampton reached the League Two playoff final, losing to Bradford City at Wembley Stadium. After a poor start to the League Two season, Northampton found themselves at the foot of the table, and as of 21 December, they had only won 4 games. Boothroyd was subsequently sacked. From the start of the season, Northampton shared their Sixfields Stadium with Coventry City, with the West Midlands club going through a protracted dispute with the owners of their previous home, the Rika Arena in Coventry. On 27 January 2014, David Cardoza appointed former Oxford United manager Chris Wilder as the new manager of the club on a 3.5-year deal. In October 2015, HM Revenue and Customs issued the club with a winding up petition over unpaid taxes. See Sixfields Stadium. In February 2016, Northampton Town broke their club record of 8 successive wins by beating Wycombe Wanderers, extending the winning run to 9. The season was successful and resulted in promotion to League One on 9 April. A draw at Exeter combined with Oxford United's defeat at home to Luton Town meant that they clinched the League Two Championship a week later on 16 April. The Cobblers went on to play their first season in the third tier of English football since 2009. In the season, after a defeat to Bristol Rovers, Rob Page was sacked and replaced with Justin Edinburgh. Northampton finished 16th, meaning that they would continue to play third-tier football. They made it to the third round of the EFL Cup, where they lost to Manchester United. On 26 June 2017, a 60% stake in Northampton Town was purchased by Chinese company Uspet. The company indicated that they would invest in both the playing budget and stadium development. Although the investment was technically a takeover, Kelvin Thomas remained chairman and the two parties have acted in partnership since. On 4 September 2017, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank was appointed as manager on a 3-year deal, replacing Justin Edinburgh, who had been sacked after 4 losses from the start of the season. His first game was against Doncaster Rovers 5 days later, a home tie which ended in a victory for Northampton Town. He was sacked on to April 2018 after Northampton Town went 9 games without a win and was replaced by Keith Correll. Correll had his contract extended in July 2020 for a further 2 years. On 29 June 2020, the club were promoted to League One after beating Exeter City in the play-off final, despite a delay in the season due to the COVID-19 pandemic in the United Kingdom. This was Northampton's 4th EFL playoff final and it ended in victory, 23 seasons after their only other Wembley win for promotion. They made it to Wembley following a second leg comeback against Cheltenham Town, after the first leg at Sixfields Stadium where they had trailed and faced an uphill battle to progress to the playoff final. However, in the second leg, the Cobblers performed the turnaround by winning away from home. However, Northampton were relegated back to League Two in their first season after finishing 22nd in the season. In the season, Northampton finished 4th, narrowly missing out on automatic promotion on the final day to Bristol Rovers. Although Northampton started the final day in automatic positions and managed to win their away match to Barrow, Bristol Rovers managed to beat Scunthorpe United. This meant Rovers would gain the final automatic promotion place based on goals scored across the season. In the playoff semi-finals, the Cobblers were subsequently defeated by Mansfield Town on aggregate. In the following season, they defeated Tranmere Rovers on the final day of the season to seal automatic promotion to League One. Brace yourself for a deep dive into shirt sponsors and manufacturers as we explore its impact and relevance in our evolving narrative. Northampton's kit has been manufactured by Puma since 2023. Previous manufacturers have included Butter, Adidas, Umbro, Spall, MG, Scoreline, Beaver Sports, Rybro, Swift, Lotto, ProStar, Sporthouse, Xara, Salming, Vandernal, Aerie, Nike, Hummel and Puma. The club's shirts are sponsored by the University of Northampton since 2013 and PTS Academy since 2016. Previous sponsors have included Chronicle and Echo and TNT, Costain Homes, Van Aid, Cuppet Supercentry, Lotto, EBS Mobile Phones, Nationwide, Jackson Grundy, Red Hot Buffet, Dal Casinos, and Opus Energy. As we enter this new phase, let's navigate the complexities of county ground and discover its practical applications. Northampton moved to the county ground in 1897, sharing it with Northamptonshire County Cricket Club from 1905. The main stand was situated alongside Abington Avenue and was a covered stand with seating to the rear and terracing to the front. The stand survived until 1985. But following the Bradford City Stadium fire, it was deemed unsafe and demolished, leaving only the terracing. This was then replaced by a small temporary stand nicknamed the Meccano Stand by fans. The other 2 stands were at the ends with the spine cop, which only reached the goalposts, usually used for away supporters, and the hotel end for the home supporters. In the only time that Northampton Town were in the top flight of English football, The county ground saw its highest attendance, 24,523 against Fulham on 23 April 1966. The ground also saw Northampton's lowest ever attendance in the Football League, a crowd of 942 for the match against Chester City. The last game to be played at the ground was a defeat by Mansfield Town on Tuesday, 12 October 1994. In this chapter, we'll be shedding light on Sixfields Stadium and its role in shaping our understanding. The club moved to Sixfields Stadium in 1994. It is a modern all-seater stadium with a capacity of 7,653 and award-winning disabled facilities. The stadium plan is simple, with the west stand seating 4,000, opposite the smaller 1,000 capacity east stand known as the Owen Hargraves stand after the ex-borough councillor who helped the stadium become reality. At either end are identical stands that are the same height as the east stand, the south stand usually for away supporters. Against Chester City on 29 April 2006, the stand was split and supporters segregated to allow the maximum number of home supporters to witness the club's promotion to League One. The north stand is known as the Sheenman Opticians Stand due to a naming rights partnership with local opticians, Sheenman Opticians. The stadium was renamed the PTS Academy Stadium in June 2018 after the club agreed a naming rights partnership with local training provider PTS Training Academy. The name of the stadium reverted to Sixfields Stadium in July 2021, following the liquidation of PTS Training Academy. Training ground. Since July 2016, Northampton have trained at Moulton College in Moulton, Northampton. Before this, they trained at the former athletics track, located at the back of the east stand at Sixfields Stadium. In this section, we'll be exploring supporters and rivalries. The club's biggest traditional rivals are Peterborough United, a rivalry which has endured since the Ers. Matches between the two clubs are known as the Nene Derby, after the river which links Northampton and Peterborough. Other significant rivalries include Oxford United, Milton Keynes Dons, Coventry City, Cambridge United and Russian and Diamonds. As we venture forward, let's take a closer look at PFA Team of the Year and its impact on our understanding. The following have been included in the PFA Team of the Year whilst playing for Northampton Town: Paul Stratford, Steve Phillips, Keith McPherson, Richard Hill, Trevor Morley, Ian Hendon, Ian Taylor, Josh Lowe, Adam Smith, John Joe O'Toole, Ricky Holmes, Charlie Good, Nicky Adams, Liam Roberts, John Guthrie, Fraser Horsfall, Sam Hoskins. As we transition to the next segment, let's unravel the mysteries surrounding cult heroes and gain a fresh perspective. The following were chosen by fans as the favourite club heroes in the BBC Sports Cult Heroes poll in 2006. 1. Andy Woodman. 2. John Frayne. 3. Dave Bowen. Get ready for an exciting exploration as we unravel the mysteries of staff positions. Technical Director, Colin Calderwood. Manager, Kevin Nolan. Head of Academy, First Team Coach, Ian Sampson. First Team Coach, Player Pathway Manager, Mark Richards. Head of Goalkeeping, James Alger. South and Celsius Lead, Ashley Adebayo. South and Celsius Assistant, Joe Power. First Team Physio, Michael Bolger. First Team Analyst, Liam Jefferson. Head Strategic and Recruitment Analyst, Alex Latimer. Kit Manager, Adam Moreton. As we progress, let's zoom in on Board of Directors and ownership and examine its role in shaping our overall narrative. Executive Chairman, Kelvin Thomas. President, Bob Church. Directors, David Barr, Jim Rosenthal, Nigel Lequesson. Associate Director, Graham Kine. Non-Executive Director, Mike Whaling. As we progress through this video, let's now turn our gaze towards managerial history. Below is a list of all permanent managers of Northampton Town since its foundation in 1897. Let's now enter the realm of club records and discover the fascinating stories it has to tell. Northampton Town hold the record for the shortest time taken to be promoted from the bottom tier to the top tier and relegated back down to the bottom again, in the space of 9 years. Tommy Fowler holds the record for Northampton Town appearances, having played 552 first-team matches between 1946 and 1961. Centre-half and former captain Ian Sampson comes second with 449 games. The record for a goalkeeper is held by Peter Gleisure with 412 appearances. Jack English is the club's top goalscorer with 143 goals in competitive matches between 1947 and 1959, having surpassed Teddy Bowen's total of 120. Bowen's record had stood since September 1931, when he overtook the total of 110 goals set by striker William Lockett in 1930. The highest attendance at the county ground of 24,523 was on 23 April 1966 in an important relegation battle in the First Division against Fulham. It is unlikely that this record will be broken unless redevelopment takes place at Sixfields. The record attendance at Sixfields is 7,947 for an EFL League One match against Birmingham City on 15 March 2025. Get ready for a thought-provoking discussion as we delve into honours and its impact on our understanding. League Wessecan Division Level 2. Runners up, 3rd Division South 3rd Division Level 3. Champions. Runners up, 4th Division 3rd Division League 2 Level 4. Champions. Runners up. Promoted. Playoff winners, 1997-2020 Southern League. Champions. Runners up. Cufford Charity Shield. Runners up, 1909. Notes. On its formation for the season, the Premier League became the top tier of English football. The first, second and third divisions then became the second, third and fourth tiers, respectively. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss an update from my channel.